hear a lot of people keep saying Oblivion Remastered feels like being a kid again in 2005. That's all cool. I just wasn't that kid. Look, I didn't grow up wandering Cyrodiil all wide-eyed at the grandeur of all of it, because my first time playing this game was, well, now, in 2025. Fully grown with a beard, I might say, and already seasoned by Skyrim, Fallout, Starfield, and every other game that Bethesda has churned out since the release of the all-timer that was Oblivion. So for me, this wasn't some nostalgic time capsule of an experience. I wasn't here to remember how things were. I just wanted to see if the game still held up now, as in today. And to my surprise, in some things it does and some things it doesn't, really. It kind of reminds me of cold pizza, because depending on who you're asking, the answers could be very polarizing.
You don't tell me what kind of pizza to like.
There's something about it that still hits a lot. So subscribe if you're new and let's get into my first time experience with the game. Kicking things off, I came in fully prepared for the jank. I mean, I played enough Bethesda RPGs to know that weird bugs, stiff animations, and spaghetti AI aren't glitches. They're part of the Bethesda family, if you will, or as I like to call it, the Bethesda family, or the family Vista. That sounded way better in my head, so I do apologize. What I didn't expect was just how funny the jank in Oblivion would end up being. I mean, compared to newer Bethesda titles, the awkwardness here feels less like a mistake and more like an intentional slapstick. Characters enter conversations like they've been waiting in line for freaking 17 hours and now is their moment to finally shine. The way characters pause mid-conversation with someone else and suddenly swivel their whole bodies towards you feels like one of those things where you're not sure if the idea behind designing their reaction was intentional or that they had no other options at the time. Kind of like trying to eat pizza with a fork and a knife while insisting it's the superior method. I mean, let's be honest, talking to NPCs is awkward, it's hilarious, and somehow makes the game feel even more alive, if anything. And for the record, man, eating pizza with a fork and a knife, criminal. Lock them up, straight to jail. There was a perfect moment that really sold me on this game's unique blend of chaos and charm. I had just leveled up and needed to sleep to boost my stats and level up and do all that jazz, so I had to find a bed to lie down upon, expecting the usual sweet dreams or block of text to jump on my screen. Instead, a man in all black literally appears beside my bed, whispering something about murder and trying to recruit me to the Dark Brotherhood itself, which under normal circumstances would sound very cool, until you realize that Martin Septim, the emperor-to-be and most wanted man in all of Cyrodiil, is literally standing a few feet away from us, waiting for me to wake up so we can go and stop the impending apocalypse. And that kind of moment is so uniquely Oblivion, it is hilarious. There's no game design polish, no cinematic setup, just the raw, chaotic randomness that can highlight the unintentional humor that this game is filled with, but also highlights the fact that, well, let's be honest, the Oblivion Remastered is still very much a 2005 game, my broski. Underneath the visual upgrade that is the remaster. The lighting is moodier, yes, the water looks absolutely beautiful now, and a big batch of rough edges have somewhat been smoothed out. But once you do actually start playing for a longer period of time, it's clear that this is just a better looking time capsule. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Look, I'm really not trying to throw shade at the game. There's something kind of refreshing about a game that doesn't try to hide its age or pretend to be ultra modern in all of its mechanics. It knows what it is. The bones are old school, admittedly, and you can feel them in every mechanic and menu. Playing it now kind of feels like ordering a classic deep dish when everyone else is trying to sell you cauliflower crust, truffle aioli, and vegan cheese. Like, is that really pizza anymore? It's not pizza, it's criminal, straight to jail. Again. Now the quests were kind of all over the place, if I'm being perfectly honest. Don't get me wrong, some of them are great, but the structure tends to repeat itself quite a bit, especially in the guild quest lines. After a while, you start noticing patterns. It's like, go here, kill this, come back, go there, steal that, come back. Or the game might have you find a seemingly lost mage, but you can also just see them walking around invisibly in front of you, but you can't talk to them because it's not the current objective. Like, there's no fast tracking here to be done. And don't even get me started on the allies for Bruma main quest line, because that was just a ball ache in itself. But what saves the game from feeling like a giant to-do list is the actual writing and the characters you meet along the way. Even when the objectives are somewhat familiar, the world still finds ways to surprise you. I didn't care about what I was doing as much as I cared about who I was doing it for. And I think that's where Oblivion really stands out as an experience. One of the biggest surprises was how little I cared about actual loot as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I am a loot goblin. Most quests here give you gold instead of shiny new gear. Like in most other RPGs, it would feel like a letdown in all honesty. But here, it kind of worked overall. Without the dangling carrot of new armor every 5 minutes, I actually started paying attention to the people talking to me. I wasn't trying to rush through dialogue just to grab the next fancy weapon, but instead, I was listening. I was choosing my words somewhat carefully, and weirdly enough, actually getting more immersed in the role-playing side of things. Not in a deep, let me put a costume and roleplay the crap out of this character kind of way, but just enough to feel like I was part of this world, rather than just clicking through it. I even spent over half of the game in the same armor set, not because I couldn't find anything better, but because it looked right for my character, my beautiful Khajiit. And also, I couldn't find anything better with better stats. Like, it was kind of weird as well. Like, I found it very early on, but then I couldn't find anything better because it was heavy armor, so the stats were on point. Look, that's just rambling. It feels way more intentional with these kind of mechanics, and I think that's all of what role-playing games should be, right? Like, they should be intentional choices because you are actually role-playing in a game. Duh. Another standout moment for me personally was giving money to beggars. At first, I did it just because it seems like the decent thing to do, right? Like it's only 1 gold coin per person. Then they started dropping hints about some mysterious figure called the Grey Fox, and I started seeing the name pop up in dialogue options or on wanted posters. And that little trickle of gossip eventually led me down a series of events that got me into the freaking Thieves Guild, which has no quests, but it's just a cool looking guild, and I got to join it and I got the achievement. And the way that unfolded was just top tier gaming, broski. No quest markers, no go here now, just a slow organic trail of breadcrumbs that made me feel like I had uncovered something special. It's like when you find that weird little pizza place behind the gas station or some other bigger place that serves like the best ever slice you've had in your life. No one told you about it, you just found it by exploring. And then there was the great Mazoga the Orc. She stormed into my life shouting something about being a knight and demanding justice for someone I had never met in my life. At first I thought she was just another loud NPC with too much confidence and just a random quest to complete. But after I ended up helping her because I'm super easily convinced, together we ended up becoming Knights of the White Stallion. I mean, come on. How freaking cool is that? Knights of the White Stallion? I didn't even have a white horse, bro. The whole questline felt like a buddy cop movie written by someone who really likes medieval armor and screaming. It was ridiculous and heartfelt and memorable in ways that only a few games actually manage. By the end of it, Mazogi wasn't just another quest giver. She was someone I'd ridden into battle with and would not hesitate to do it again. Maz, as I like to call her now because we're friends and all of that, is only one example in a sea of great gaming moments that this game has in it. Combat and leveling surprised me too. Everyone talks about how broken Oblivion scaling is, but I actually ended up enjoying it. The progression system makes you stronger by doing the things you actually want to improve at, and that works wonders for my type of gamer who doesn't want to max out every stat and instead just wants to play in this naturally evolving way. Everything from sneaking to lockpicking to bartering to doing whatever. If you want to improve a skill, you just do it. It's so simple, but it works wonders. What really surprised me as well was how sleeping at inns didn't just level up your character, it felt like part of the world's heartbeat. You'd go to rest at an inn, of course, maybe just to cash in a few stat points, but then someone at the bar would mention something odd happening in a nearby city, or a shady figure might leave a note beside your bed, or something else might happen, like literally you being turned into a freaking vampire while you're sleeping, which I'm pretty sure it happened because I did not close the door behind me when I went to sleep because it was all so random. I was in a hurry to level up, so I just did it because I thought nothing would happen. It turns out I turned into a vampire, which gives me stat boosts. Now I cannot live in the sun. 70% of this freaking game is done under the freaking sun. I had to go into all of these forums to figure out how to freaking remove vampirism, which is a thing, and you could do it, which I didn't even know was a thing, and it's awesome. It was so cool. Suddenly you can be on a trail for a brand new quest that you didn't even know existed, broski. It's not a revolutionary mechanic, admittedly, like games have been doing this kind of thing for the longest time, but here it felt way more natural. Like you weren't just triggering content or points of interest, but instead you were living in a place where people talk, rumors spread, and the world didn't wait for you to catch up. Just stopping to sleep could turn into a whole freaking new story, and that really made the game feel alive in the kind of way that very few games manage managed to do. It's kind of like sticking to your favorite toppings combo on a pizza. I mean, sure, some people like pineapple and jalapenos, but you're good with the old school mozzarella and basil combo, and that's that. The simplicity let me focus on the role I was playing instead of constantly chasing some random stats. That made the whole experience feel a lot more personal, which goes a long way in open world games, and I gotta be very honest with that. Now, having finished the game, do I think Oblivion is the greatest RPG of all time? Maybe back in 2005. I mean, back then I would have said abso-freaking-lutely. But now, I'm not even close, I'll be honest. And that's not a dig at the game, because the genre has just evolved so much. We've come such a long way since 2005. We've had games with better writing, better mechanics, better just everything. Oblivion, though, still manages to be something special because of how it feels. Even without nostalgia carrying the experience, there's this scrappy sincerity baked into every inch of the game. It doesn't try to impress you with fancy tech or hyper-polished mechanics or big set-piece moments. It just wants you to pick a direction, walk in that direction, and see what happens. And I promise you, broski, 9 times out of 10, something weird or funny or kind of meaningful actually does end up happening. And overall, look, while it didn't hit me the way Skyrim did when I played that for the first time, because look, Skyrim felt epic and massive and awesome in all the right ways. But I was also way younger when I played that game, and I was way newer to the RPG genre, if you will. Because I was like, what, 16 or 17 when I played that game. Oblivion now, when I'm in my sturdy 30s, feels a bit different. It feels a bit smaller in scale, but richer in strange, specific stories. The kind of world where you accidentally join a cult and end up being best friends with a yelling orc and never end up questioning that fact. And honestly, I can only imagine what it must have felt like to play this game all the way back in 2005. If this had been my first RPG experience back then, look, broski, without a shadow of a doubt, I would have been praising this game like everyone else and their mother is on Reddit or on other forums as well. But even without that childhood connection, I still think this game is well worth playing today. One, for the stories, but also for the charm. Oblivion Remastered isn't perfect, but it is honest, if anything, and that makes it kind of unforgettable overall. That pretty much wraps it up for this video yet again. I do want to hear your comments in the comment section down below. My bro Migo, let me know what you think of Oblivion Remastered, if it's a worthwhile remaster or if it's just kind of a new skin remaster, if you will. Like some games do that where the game is just way too, it's still the same jank underneath, but on top of it is just a fancy new skin. And I've seen a lot of games do that where they don't fix the underlying problems, but they just slap on a beautiful little skin of beautifulness of Unreal Engine 5. Look, if you made it to this part of the video, you might as well subscribe to the channel also. I'd love to have you on board this train to the greatness of the tubes. We're pretty much broskies for life at this moment in time. Like, you watched me for this long, I might as well watch me for a bit longer. If you want to do that, click this video, click that video, watch some more ramblings of me. I do some quick reviews as well, so check those out. Check the link down below if you want to buy this game for yourself, or if you do, I have an affiliate link down in the description box below where you can grab the game and I get some kickback for it as well. So might as well, you know, ching ching ching. Whoa, pause on, no ching ching, none of that. It's been a long day. In any case, I hope you guys have a great day wherever you're from. Whichever time of day you watch this ad. I've been your broski. I don't really know how to end this video, so enjoy the day. See you guys in the next upload. Peace.